Okay, so we're doing our chanting today, right? It's a big day, big practice for us. I want to say that sometimes, well, generally speaking, you might know of yogis or yoga people, yoga classes to chant Om, just
Mm,
Om, right? Om.
mm,
We go into the holding the M as long as we can. Right. That is one way to chant for sure. And we're going to do that at the end to kind of seal up our practice. But for now, we're going to do more of what's a yoga therapy chant that I think is very powerful. Chanting and vibrations really does change a lot of what's going on in your body. It kind of clears up some space. It gets the mind very quiet. So the way that this chant works is isolating the syllables A-U-M. So we're chanting A, ah, we're chanting U, which is more of a O, and then we're chanting M, but we're doing it separately, right? So we're not just doing the we're doing A-U-M. And it's really very cool because the A is the belly. The U or the O is the diaphragm. And the M is your lungs, your chest. So we're really moving things around and getting things going in terms of getting our breath flowing, freeing up space for healing. You know, vibrations, I believe, are a healing medicine, right? Drums, vibrations, music, right? Right. I'm seeing some nods. Yes, yes. Okay, and I will say kind of jokingly that the good thing about Zoom, maybe not the good thing, but one of the funny things about Zoom is that when we all start chanting together, it cuts off the sound because it thinks that it's like background noise. So once you go like, and Ralph, you might have a specific music setting or something
mm.
on your thing that won't do that. But when I do privates with people, I always find that we start chanting. Well, everybody's always a little nervous at first, right? You don't want to like sound stupid or be the only one doing it or whatnot. That's normal. But rest assured that we're not hearing you very well here. It's almost like you're alone and the sound doesn't come through super great. So take that into consideration. Nobody's judging you. Nobody cares what you sound like. Nobody's listening and going, oh, what? That's not, none of that. We're just practicing. You can go into a private space in your house, do this later today, do it throughout the week, do it in your car, do it somewhere where you know no one will be listening. Or just say, fuck it, right? I don't care what I sound like. I'm just going to do it and whatever. So we start with the A. We're going to do, every time we do it, we're going to do a cleansing breath. So we're going to be kind of like finding our sitting bones, always starting on the sitting bones, lengthening the spine, bringing your shoulders out and up to create a bit of space here in the belly. And then we'll do a cleansing breath that's just going to clear our channels, clear everything out. We actually might do that again. Let's do one more. And then we take a hand to the belly. So we're going to rest on the belly and we're going to do one in breath and then start the A, right? A is going to be as long as your exhale goes. You're not taking another breath. You're not going like, you're just one breath out as long as you can go. We're all going to end at different times. Some people are like trained swimmers and like really good at holding the breath and going long. Some people run out of breath quickly. That's okay. We're training the body. We're training everything here. So let yourself sit. Let yourself be still for a moment. And we'll do one conscious deep inhale, and then we'll all begin. So pause here for a moment. Just let yourself sit. And then when you're ready, take that deep inhale and just begin. Let yourself just breathe here. We're going to do each one twice. So you'll get to practice a little bit. We might actually do them 3 times. Again, at the end. But let your breath just return to normal. Normal, whatever that is for you. And then we'll do another one. Taking in that in-breath when you're ready, and then lengthening out the A. Pausing. Let's actually do a third one. Let's do a third one. I'm feeling like we should do a third one. So let's put our hands on the belly for this one, and kind of like, you can, if you're struggling to get out sound, you can press on the belly so that you start like a ah, right? Like it forces that out more, right? So you can try that, or just let the hand rest here, kind of giving you that cue that the A is coming from here, the belly. We're moving up the chakras. So we're starting at the root here, pelvis, belly, sacral, solar plexus. Let's just sit a few seconds. Find your breath to be whatever it is. Close your eyes. And then on this next breath, we'll inhale and begin. Let yourself just sit. Now it's also very cool because each syllable gives us a different shape of our mouth. So this is like really good for like anyone that might have been affected in the face or have like face droop or any aphasia or any of that going on, that you're getting a nice shape. Like the A is that ah, right? You're kind of dropping the jaw open. Ah, the O is going to be oh. And then the M is, of course, mm. The lips are pursed. So we're getting kind of those 3 different shapes, the open, the O, and the mm. Good face yoga, right? The face yoga is a thing for like, mostly for wrinkles and stuff, they teach it, but I'm like, we should be teaching this to stroke survivors, aphasia people, so that we get these facial muscles like opened up and working again. So let's actually do that now. Let's just take a hand to the face and start to massage at your jaw. Let your jaw hang open. Drop your head down. Come up and close the mouth. Stretching here. And then do that again. Open the jaw, drop down, and close the mouth, and come up. And then one more, down, open, and up, close. And then to center here. We're gonna find our bottom rib and place either one hand on the side of the rib here, or at the center of the rib here, or both hands here, right? This is a nice way to do the O, to find this space here. And we'll do the same thing. So we're gonna sit for just a few seconds. Then on our next in-breath, we'll let out the O sound.
What?
We're chanting.
Bird. Where's our puppy?
In the iPad.
Oh.
Let yourself sit for just a second. Breathe. And then we'll move into another round. No hurry here. On your next in-breath, begin. And relax your hands down onto your lap or at your sides. We're going to take a pause here and do a little more of our facial yoga by taking a hand to the forehead and scraping the forehead back and forth. Closing the eyes, scraping across the eyes. Taking one or both hands and sliding down the sides to massage at the temples. And then dragging your fingers down your cheeks, down your jawbone to the chin, and going back up. Massaging any parts that feel tight along the jaw, maybe shifting the jaw around, removing the chin. And just doing that all a few more times. Scraping the forehead, massaging the temple, coming down the face to the chin. And then doing it all again. You can make one circle if you're using one hand. You can certainly use both hands and do it at the same time. Down and up It's very much like that scream pose, that Halloween guy. Feels nice to put a bit of pressure on the jaw. And then let's come to the eyes. So you're gonna come both hands, if you can, one hand. So I'm gonna show, if you're doing two hands, you're gonna come here, cupping the eyes, maybe placing the heel of the hand in the eye socket and pressing, and then sliding down the face. Or one hand here, pressing the eye shut, and then again, sliding down the face. And then just doing that a few times. It's so nice to kind of give the face a little bit of attention, release any tension you're holding on to in your face, your cheeks, your jaw. Or you could just pause, like here, and breathe. And then release both of your hands back onto your lap. We're not done chanting yet. We have to finish our H or our M. So the M is really more of a HM. So you're humming. It's like a hum. Again, going as long as the exhale lasts. And this time we're up at the lungs, up at the heart, feeling the vibration move from the belly into the diaphragm, up into the heart. So just pause here for a moment. Take a breath in and a breath out. Let yourself sit. And then on our next in-breath, you'll begin. That sounded really cool. The bits that I could hear of it. That's very cool to hear all of us chanting together. That's neat. So we'll do one more here at the heart for the HM. Taking your time. Taking that next in-breath and beginning. Beautiful. Let your hands release down onto your lap. Check out our time here because okay, so now we're going to do all three, one right after the other. We're going to start with the ah, we're going to go to the o, and we're going to go to the not all in one breath, right? We're going to pause, but I'm just going to do less or really no talking in between. We're just going to move from each one to each one, right? So adjust yourself here. Make yourself comfortable. Maybe give your head a little shake, your shoulders a little opening. Move around however you want. You know, this chanting does create a lot of space. So you might hear like things cracking, your neck cracking, or different things getting a little looser. That's the point. the vibrations are pushing tension out of the way and creating all this new space for new stuff. That's kind of what the goal, so to speak, is. If I were to say there was one goal of yoga, it would be space, just space in the body, space for things that are not tense or tight. Maybe a breath out from the mouth is nice too, that ha breath. And then our hands come on, or one hand or both hands, come onto the belly. And on your next in breath, you'll begin the A. Remember, the mouth drops open on the A sound. Beginning on your next breath in. Moving one or both hands up to the diaphragm or the bottom rib. Let yourself rest. And on your next in-breath, find the O. Letting yourself rest again. Taking the hand to the heart. And on your next in-breath, begin with the And release both hands onto your lap. I often forget how lovely it is to chant and how just kind of
relaxes you.
Relaxing it starts to really feel when you get into some of this stuff. It's really quite nice. So let's again spend a moment here on the head before we start doing any bigger movements with the body. So let's take our right ear towards our right shoulder. Drop your chin down to your chest and roll to the other side. We're going to spend some time here, just kind of like they say it's that crescent moon shape. Letting the head hang and roll. Maybe even pausing and just letting the head hang. Move the head. And then we'll spend another minute or two here. If you want to, make a full circle with the head, coming up and around and down. Sometimes that creates too much pressure on the lower back or on the cervical spine or the neck. So if that's you, you're just kind of staying here, side to side. If you want to make that full circle, now is your chance. And remember to breathe, right? Sometimes we get moving, and what happens is we're concentrating so hard on what we're doing, we've stopped our conscious breath flow, right? So it's better to go a bit slower, making sure you're taking those big breaths in and big breaths out. And your face is not holding on to tension anywhere. The jaw is not clenched. Eyebrows are not furrowed. It's loosey-goosey, right? Loosey, free. Okay, I'm gonna come on up into the chair and we can do some bigger movements. It's back over. Yeah, that's okay. Okay. So we're here, and whatever chair you're sitting in, you're gonna kind of walk yourself forward. So you're coming to the edge of your chair, right? Get on to the very edge of that chair. I'm gonna move this back a hair more. And then our feet are as firmly grounded as we can get them, right? Take a little look at your feet. Make sure your big toes are lined up here. And the feet are pressing down and you're coming up. We're gonna roll through the shoulders here, right? Up and back down, and inhale up and exhale, drop them down. And then, as awkward as it is, you're gonna roll forward. You're gonna come forward with the shoulders and come down and in. We don't often go this direction, right? We always go up and back, but so try the other way. In, down, and around, and open. It's like you're hunching forward almost, and then opening up, right? Which can feel really nice on the upper back once you get moving into it a little bit after the first awkward few moments of it. And then if your hands are not already on your lap, bring them out onto your lap, bring them onto your thighs, and slide your hands forward on your thighs towards your knees. Now, as you do this, your hands are gonna come in towards the knees, and you're gonna start to almost like imagine that there's something on the floor right in front of you, and you're going to look for it. You're going to see it. You're going forward. You're using your hands to bring you forward and look down. Do this a few times, lengthening forward and looking down. Now tuck your chin in towards your chest and around your shoulders really deeply. Send the chin forward and look just a little bit out in front of you forward. Start to look up. Let your hands draw in towards your pelvis and let your collarbone get really wide here. Chin might look up, belly presses forward, heart comes forward. And then exhale, take the chin into the chest and slide the hands forward. Look towards your toes. This is a nice place to use a big exhale from the mouth. Start to round in from the shoulders, tucking your chin in towards the chest, pulling yourself back. And then pressing forward, lifting the head, lifting the chin, bringing the collarbone wide as the arms slide in. We're creating a really nice flow of cat-cow here, kind of more of like a water flow or a wave flow instead of the isolating kind of cat. Cow, we're gonna kind of meld them together and do just a few more of, we were in cow, right? So we were wide collarbone, big chest, puffy collarbone, tiny little tail. That's the cow, right? Maybe not a great visualization for us to think about, but it's the broadness through the collarbone and the teeny tiny little tail. You're really wide here. And then you start to slide the hands forward and look down. You can kind of play with inching forward, like I said, looking forward, like you're looking for something here. That feels nice sometimes. On the back. But generally speaking here, we're scooping in, tucking the chin in, stretching the arms out. Hunched in shoulders, teeny tiny little belly. This is our cat pose, that scared Halloween cat with the like skinny belly and big shoulders. And then press down, send the head forward. Start to look forward and come up. Wide collarbone, back into our seated cow. And then exhaling, rounding through, looking forward and drawing the chin in and back. And then last one here, come forward with the head, forward with the chin, forward with the chest. Slide the hands in towards the pelvis. Open your collarbone wide. Bring your shoulder blades together behind you. And breathe your breath deep into your body. Now let's take a little twist. So a nice little practice here for engaging your core is moving from cow to neutral, right? So you're in cow, which is kind of a nice release for the front belly. The lower back starts to arch and everything kind of relaxes there. Then it's like everything sucks in and you're back to neutral. So you could do that a few times, like forward and then neutral. You're not going all the way back to cat because again, that's another stretching, right? We're trying to activate the core by stopping at neutral. So you're moving from cow to neutral, cow to neutral. And then once you pause in neutral, find your sitting bones. Find that flat back. And we're gonna take a twist over. Left hand, right thigh, right hand behind the back. Looking just to the side. Sometimes people really wanna look around the neck. And notice that for a minute, because when you start to come around, pushing yourself into what feels like a really nice stretch, you're creating tension. That is not yoga, right? Yoga is the release of tension. So sometimes not coming as far into the pose and just resting, like hand on hip, hand on the side of the chair. You're looking to the side. And just breathing. Then unwind and go to the other side. And then unwind to center here. Take your arms anywhere, really. You can bring your arms to your sides or have one arm on the lap or both arms on the lap. We're gonna hip hinge. And then we're just gonna come to standing today because we're gonna do a little balancing standing stuff. We've done a lot of seated, focus on one leg, hold the other leg up, bring the other leg out, focus on this leg. That was all last week and the week before that. So now we're ready to come to standing and do a little alternating feet standing in like a tree pose today. So, but before we do that, I want to stretch out the hip flexors and work on that hip hinging, which is a very valuable tool to use for coming to standing. You're bringing your shoulders forward, forward, and then back and back. And I might even turn myself this way for a second. Just to emphasize the hinge, right? It's a real like a door hinge. You're really flat, 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 as opposed to say like here, coming forward, here and back. You're really trying to keep that back flat as you come forward. That probably is going to mean that you're going to go slower and you're not going to go as far. You can get farther coming here. All of us probably can, right? You can get far here. But what happens here is our core is completely disengaged. We're just stretching. We're just lengthening the muscles and stretching. That's not the point of the hip hinge and really the forward fold. It's not about reaching the floor, rather building strength here. So you may go less far here, stop here, and then go back. And then here, stop here, and go back. Also noticing the weight shift out of the feet and into the feet. Now we'll have maybe a few moments here to practice coming to standing doing this. So you can do it kind of however you want. But if you take yourself all the way to the edge of that chair, what I encourage you to do is not just this, right? You're gonna do forward, pause, slide your butt off, and come up slowly. And then down. And then do it again. Play with it a little bit, right? Because you can have some fun with kind of like backwards and forwards. forward, slide the butt off, and up. Nice, nice. So an opportunity to do a couple more if you want. You can keep going up and down and up. You can practice moving the feet around. Chair pose in yoga is like middle point here. You're like stopping here and lifting here for what would be a chair pose, right? So you can practice building that strength in between sitting and standing. Stopping in between, I mean, right? Or if you're done with that, then just be done with that. And we'll come up to stand and we'll all meet at the back of our chairs. So no hurry, you can continue doing sits to stands. We got time. We got lots of time. But if you're ready to move on, you can come to stand at the back of your chair. Now I'm standing like this so that y'all can see what I'm doing with my body, right? You can be here, holding here as we do some balancing stuff with the feet, right? I'm just turning this way so that you guys can, again, see my whole body. So first thing that we're gonna do is we're just gonna place each foot down, 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 like we're marching in place. Down, down, down. You can kind of step forward or step back as you're doing it, or stay stationary. And then come to a nice neutral. Feet are about as wide as the hips. Big toes are lined up and you're looking forward. Now we're gonna start with our warrior one. So warrior one is simply stepping forward with one foot. You can start with the right like I am, or you can do, like if that's your affected side and you want to try your stronger side, you can do either side first. Doesn't matter because we'll do both. But you're gonna step forward with one foot and keep that other foot back behind you. So you're like at a staggered step, right? Then you're gonna play a little bit with pressing forward. So bend into this knee, this front foot, and see if you can shift your weight off of the back foot. And then go back down. So when we're in warrior one, we have like 50% of our weight here, 50% of our weight here. It's very balanced. We're using both feet. But as we build into balancing tree pose and even a warrior three pose, we're shifting weight forward, coming off that back heel, maybe lifting the back leg, and then going down and back and forward, up, maybe with the leg, and then down and back. We'll stay here for a few more breaths, playing around, coming up and down, up and down. And then you'll come back into warrior one, and the front foot steps back. And you're back in line with the toes, back to a standing Tadasana, forward, breathing, and we'll move into the other foot. So whichever foot you didn't do, take a step forward with that foot. Place it down. 50% of your weight on the front leg, 50% of your weight on the back leg. Bend this front knee and straighten the knee. Stay there for a little while because it's like you're shifting the weight to cue the body into balancing, right? So you're just shifting weight forward and back and forward and back. Now, when you're ready, shift your weight forward, lift that back heel and go back down. Shift your weight forward and lift the back heel. You can always stay right here and work on balancing just by shifting forward, coming to the front and lifting. My foot is not lifted. I'm just on my toes. My heel is lifted. So you can stay there or you can come to raise the leg, balancing on this standing leg, right? And then go back down. And then forward. Just kind of spending another few seconds here, exploring the body, feeling what you can do, even feeling what you can't do, right? It's okay. We're not judging. We're not assigning meaning. We're just exploring. Then come back onto the heel, and instead of stepping forward with the leg, you step this front foot back into Tadasana. Into Tadasana. It's quite a statement. Let your breath really fully exhale here. And we're gonna do one more standing posture before we come back into our chairs for Shavasana. So you can see that warrior 3 is this balancing one here, right? Now tree pose is a balancing posture, kind of the opposite. We're to the side here. And tree pose really in and of itself is a hip opener. So you're coming from this forward knee to this out knee. Forward, out. Forward, out. Try that with both hips. Just rotating out. Rotating out. This is way more of the pose than, say, this. This is what we see in pictures, right? We see this guy. We see arms lifted up, open, balancing. That's very difficult to do. And you lose a lot of the hip part by doing that. And so really I emphasize with people that the tree pose in and of itself is a hip opener. Once you shift this knee open, this standing leg really has to balance, right? You're really balancing on this hip. And then you're closing it off. And then you're doing it again. So you can be here, a little kickstand here and balance. You can be at the shin and balance. See if you can let go and grow your branches, as they say. Or you can come to the knee here, open, or come above the knee. I have socks on, so my foot is going to keep slipping down. But wherever you are, you're balancing. you're feeling yourself balancing on this opposite leg. Make sure you do both. Do the other side. Practice your own balancing. And then give both of your knees a little bend. Shake your tail out, as they say. Move your bum around. Move all that energy around into the legs, down to the feet. Maybe bend one knee, straighten the other knee. Cha-cha. Right? And then we're going to come back into our chairs. So you can stay there a few moments if you're still practicing something, or just be done with movement altogether and have a seat. We are going to first just find the back of your chair. Let your back come all the way back. Let yourself rest there with a nice breath. And let's just sit a moment, because that was a lot of movement. That was a lot of work. That was a lot of stuff. So let's let our bodies sit. And well, we're still gonna sit. And so now, if you can, you're going to interlock your fingers and bring your hands into your heart. We're actually going to come up to the chin, bottom of the chin with the hands, and then we're going to come down into more of the sternum, right? And then we're going to come up like you're closing a book, closing the forearms just to the chin, and then come down into the sternum, into the heart here, pressing the palms together. If you want to straighten your fingers out, you can certainly straighten all of your fingers out, but the idea here is that the palms are firmly pressing together. The elbows are lifted up. There's lots of space in the belly here. And we're going to chant 3 rounds of Om, just a regular Om chant. So it's going to be inhale, Om, to the end of the syllable, then inhale again and do it again. To the end of the syllable, inhale again and do it again. We're going to do that 3 times. So, nice cleansing breath. Maybe shake your head around. Shake your head no and yes. And then on our next in breath, we'll begin.
Very slowly here, bowing your head towards your heart and drawing the forearms towards each other and just releasing your arms, your hands onto your lap. And lifting your head to center. Spending our last few seconds, minutes maybe here. Just breathing softly into the body. Very slowly taking the hands, palms together, back into the heart. And we'll seal up our practice here together with that loud, audible breath that people keep telling me is the Wim Hof breath. I didn't know that this was a thing that existed really outside of yoga. We call it Kapalabhati. It's a right, like you hear it. You hear the inhale and you hear the exhale. So you can do one or two. You can shake your head out a little bit. And coming back to stillness. The divine light that resides within me honors that divine light within you. Namaste. Namaste, guys.